Hello, my name is Selbi, and welcome to my face reveal, which you probably didn't expect it to be a video like this, where I just sit down and talk. When I first started making YouTube videos, I envisioned my face reveal to be some sort of grand, spectacular celebration. But you know what? First of all, I realized I don't really want to put so much emphasis on just my fucking face. I want to get it out of the way. And more importantly, I have a lot of stuff on my chest that I want to talk about today. All about my life, really. So, buckle in. I get some coffee here, which I will continuously sip from throughout this video, and we will have some fun together. Well, not really. This is gonna be a rather depressing video. So, how do I start this? First of all, this is the second take of me making this video, because the first one was a rambly mess that didn't lead to anything. And I hope this one will get a little bit better in that regard. So, yeah, I've been away for the last couple of weeks to fix my life, more or less. I've been to rehab, and I think I just want to talk a little bit about everything that's happened over the last couple of weeks, I actually want to talk about the last 2 years as well. I want to talk about the situation that got me, why I'm even in this situation right now. I want to talk a little bit about how everything turned out. I want to talk about how Sonic ERaZor had a large role in my life over the last 2 years. And just some rough perspectives of how it's going forward from here on. So, I think I'm just gonna start by talking about the story that happened from when everything began to today. So, back in April of 2023, I had a huge breakdown. And by huge breakdown, I mean the kind of breakdown where my brother would phone in the police. The police were coming to my house and taking me into a closed institute because they were worried that I would, Thankfully, I've gotten a lot better since then, and But I would lie if I would say that just being taken to a closed institute was all it took to suddenly fix my life, because all it really did was stabilize me enough to not immediately end myself. Yeah, so I went to that place, and after only, I think, 3 days, I quit it again because the institution was not for me. So that was roughly in May 2023. And since that day, 2 years ago, at the time of recording, it's pretty much been the same. Not much has changed about my life at all. Which is to say, I quit my job. I'm unemployed voluntarily because I just don't have the mental energy to function in this world anymore. It's a long story, but in a nutshell, I just had the breakdown that I had 2 years ago was because of that. I felt everything in my life was leading into a dead end with only misery coming about. And So, what happened then? In an attempt to stabilize my life, in big old quotes, I developed an addiction to cannabis. And I'm not just talking about the kind of I smoke a joint every couple of days to have a good time. I'm talking about every single day for the past 2 years, I would smoke between 5 to 15 joints. It was about 500 euros spent on weed. This is a bit of a deep story, so I apologize if I fumble over my own words. $500 every single month spent on weed. And that has been my life for the past 2 years. I would sit in my living room watching some brain rot content on Twitch or YouTube. And that's it really. Just smoke joints, watch stuff on YouTube. Order garbage food, not go outside anymore, not meet any friends anymore, let alone work on anything regarding jobs, because I've pretty much given up on my life at that point. And that pretty much continued non-stop for 2 years straight until a few months ago I finally decided I need to do something about it, but one step at a time. So it was around April, May in 2023 where the whole breakdown thing started. And from that point onwards until I think it was around October, I didn't do anything, right? So all I did was waste my time smoking joints, and then that one video by Red Hot Sonic got published. You know, the one where he was testing Sonic ERaZor 6 on real hardware, discovering that it indeed does, except for that one bug where, crash, if the game had no SRAM, which is something I simply never knew about. And that moment right there, I am not exaggerating when I say that, I do actually think saved my life in one way or another. So Red Hot Sonic, if you're seeing this, I just want to say thank you for that video. For you, it might have been a bit of a comeback yourself, but for me, it was more like a lifesaver. Anyway, so that happened. And then I started working on Sonic ERaZor. And it wasn't really so much that, it wasn't just a hobby at that point anymore. It was quite literally everything I did between, I think it was October, November, somewhere around the time in 2023, all the way until January of this year, 2025. So that is a little bit, roughly 1.5 years of doing nothing but working on a Sonic hack. And I mean that pretty much literally, I didn't go outside anymore, I didn't socialize with anybody, I lost pretty much contact to everybody I know, including my family and friends. Because I was so invested. And invested is not even the right word. What happened was I gave up my life as I knew it at that point and pretty much worked on that Sonic hack exclusively, which wasn't really so much a hobby. It was more just a way to not completely fall away from all sanity, because I was smoking so much cannabis that my brain wasn't even really functioning anymore. I was just sitting there like a zombie, just making it through the day. And so it started as a simple patch, but really, really quickly I realized that this is more than a quick patch. This is something that I need to actually do to keep myself alive, pretty much. Because it was the only moment, or the only thing within the last 2 years where I had some sort of, I'm still human. I still have something in me that helps me put something out there and feel alive, feel anything really. because the depression, and especially in combination with the cannabis, was so intense that I barely was able to feel anything anymore. And that combined with the whole breakdown thing and like losing faith in life and nearly ending myself. Yeah, it was life support for myself, which is why the project became almost a necessity, like an urge, an insatiable urge to keep doing it more and more and more. Every time I saw something, I was working on it and fixing bugs and doing some new design stuff and whatever. And that continued all the way up until, first of all, there was a hacking contest last year, of course, but that's beside the point. You can pretty much consider ERaZor 7 and 8 to be two sides of the same coin. 7 was really just thrown out earlier. And yeah. So, kept working on that. I was getting some help from new people at that point. And these people would become both incredibly valuable to myself. The hack was getting a lot more polished because of these people. But it was pretty much also the only people that I had any frequent contact with. Like I said, I didn't go out anymore. And by not going out anymore, I mean that literally. Literally. I didn't go outside anymore. I didn't ever put on shoes or go grocery shopping or anything, because all I ever did was order DoorDash or order groceries, which by now can also be done with delivery services. Even water can now be delivered by delivery service. Is insane. So 2 years of basically no sunlight, in which I did pretty much nothing but work on Sonic ERaZor. And yeah, then at some point earlier this year, 2025, I, as you might have already been able to tell, hit my burnout moment. It was not possible anymore to go on like the way I had. I was completely drained. Like the last life support I had, the last thing that gave me anything to look forward to in life, Sonic ERaZor, was the very thing that nearly killed me again. So I went to rehab. Though, of course, ERaZor wasn't the only reason why I went to rehab. Far from it. It was more like 2 years of pushing away my problems from the breakdown I had in my old job. And scars don't just disappear. Like, no matter how many intoxicants you shove into your ugly face, they will not disappear. You will just bury them. And the ugly thing about that is, at one point, they will come back to bite you in the ass. And when they do, it hurts more than you can imagine. So, I signed up for rehab. I signed up for withdrawal. And that is the good news. I'm clean. At the time of recording, I've been clean for over a month. Almost 2 months by now. And I would lie if I didn't say I wasn't still addicted, because addiction, unfortunately, I just know that now. Like, I'm addicted to cannabis, and I will be for the rest of my life. But addiction isn't the same as consumption. So I know I still have cravings, and I know I could relapse at any single moment, but I'm grateful that I made the withdrawal and can continue with my life now. So even if I get the cravings to go to my old dealer and roll up another joint, I'm strong enough to not do that. I've deleted his number, blocked him and everything. So at the very least, the immediate road to him is not that clean anymore, and I hope I can keep it up that way. So yeah, I've gotten clean from cannabis. I've tried to go to rehab, which is something different than withdrawal. The rehab itself was, I don't want to say shit, but it was ill-matched, let's say that. So it didn't really give me the results that I was actually looking for. But the good news is that at least I'm a bit more focused now where to go from here. I'm still not entirely sure. The long-term goal is finding a way to... I want to go to a job again. It's not that I can't from a... Like I can program. I'm a studied software engineer. I've already got some years behind me. It was never about the programming. That was always pretty much the part that was self-explanatory for me. What I struggle with is my crippling social anxiety and depression. Because I straight up do not understand how people take 40 hours per week work time for granted. When I work like 2 hours in an office or something, I'm already exhausted like fuck. By now I realize that is because of my social anxiety, because you have to imagine everything around you is a minefield and your brain is constantly on the lookout for, oh god, there's something dangerous over there and over there and over there. And you're pretty much doing like 90% of your brain power is spent on keeping you safe, which is kind of stupid because there's nothing to be saved from in our modern society. But with past trauma, bullying as a child and whatever, that kind of stuff sticks with you until it reaches your deepest level of subconsciousness. And it's not just a finger snap to get rid of that, unfortunately. So, that is the long-term goal. In terms of Sonic hacking, and probably also one of the reasons why you right now want to watch this video, what about Sonic ERaZor 9? Or really any continuation of that project? It won't happen. At least not in the near future. Maybe... Never say never. Maybe in a couple of years I will look back in this moment and say, who needs whatever past Selby was saying? We can have a new update, of course. But the thing is, I've realized that project is more than just a Sonic hack. Just a Sonic hack would imply that I can do that project, be proud about it, and move on. But I can't. I realized that my life has been so shaped by that project. We're talking about 15 years, which is at this point half my life, literally, taken by a single Sonic ROM hack. And I've discovered and learned so much about myself because of it. More than I'm willing to share at this moment, because a lot of it is very personal. But in a nutshell, working on that project is both repairing me and destroying me. And that might sound kind of weird, but when you have something that has been part of your life since you were 14, 15, somewhere around that, all the way up until now, where I'm 30 at the moment, then it becomes so deeply in your brain that everything is about that project. We're talking about constantly checking YouTube videos if there's anything new going on, reading comments and being obsessed, actually obsessed with that project. So much so that like it doesn't end. It's insatiable. And it breaks me. Because I know, like, it's never enough. No matter how many videos are posted about it, no matter how many positive comments I get, no matter how many downloads, it's never enough. And chasing that dream is just killing me. So, with Sonic ERaZor 7, I gave the game another big bang. And with Sonic ERaZor 8, I reached my breaking point to the point of total burnout, which was a big part of what I've been discovering, amongst other things, regarding the Sonic hacking community while I was in rehab and did some therapy. So, in a nutshell, I'm not saying I'm stopping Sonic hacks, not by a long shot, but I must stop working on Sonic ERaZor specifically. It's sort of like that cannabis thing. I need to prevent myself from doing that because I know it will destroy me. I will fall into another rabbit hole of being so obsessed by that project that I will not be able to properly function as a human being anymore. A little bit related to that, my Halloween ROM hack, Sonic is Alone, that was actually not just a random hack that I did. That was me purging myself. Like, it came right after I finished working on Sonic ERaZor 7, then there was a little bit of a break, and then I worked on Sonic ERaZor 8. But between that, I had Sonic is Alone as a project. And the whole thing started with me like erasing, literally like object after object, level layout designs, background effects, graphics, trees, whatever. Like, it was destructive, self-destructive from all the, like, deep inside I knew the pain from ERaZor was already there, and Sonic is Alone was a way to let those anxieties and frustrations out into some sort of medium. Which is why the hack has no official story. Like, people always say, what's the story of Sonic is Alone? And the truth is, the story is me. Specifically me from the past 2 years. I guess the closest analogy you can make is an analogy to drug addiction. Like, Sonic, you collect a ring, the rings disappear, then the monitors, and each time you erase something, it's harder and harder to find something new. Meanwhile, the game around you becomes darker and darker as I drive myself into self-isolation, and eventually there's nothing there except me. And yeah, so that is the short form of what the game is about. I don't want to go into full detail because I still like to have a bit of mystery around it. But that is the rough thing. So it's not about Sonic. Sonic is more like a surrogate character to represent myself. Which is also why erasing and Sonic ERaZor it's a very connected game. And which is also surprising that it blew up so much compared to ERaZor. But like I said, I need to stop worrying about numbers and everything. So, in a nutshell, why is Sonic ERaZor 9 never coming? Or probably never coming? Because I know if I will start doing that, I will start killing myself again. I worry about relapsing into a drug addiction again. I worry about self-isolating myself for longer and not going outside anymore. And my goal right now is I want to have a new Sonic project. I have no idea what, but a new Sonic project which is completely detached from that. I mean, it doesn't mean I will not do anything with explosions anymore, because that has nothing to do with it. Sonic ERaZor itself is the problem. I just need to let go because it is killing me. And I don't care if anybody disagrees with that. I'm not here to make you happy. I've made 8 versions of this game. And I think that's enough. 15 years of working on that thing. And I just need to move on. That's really it. I can't just keep on holding on to the same fucking project all my life. Sorry if I'm repeating myself here. This is coming deep from my heart. I know that now, especially after all the therapy that I've been through. There's been so much boiled up resentment and pain and misery and whatever because of that hack. Like, if I were to explain the full story, and I might one day in a different video, like at the surface level, it may sound like I'm insane. I mean, maybe I am insane. Who isn't, right? But imagine, like for a moment, imagine it's not a video game. Imagine it is a painting. And you keep working on this painting for 15 years. Never stop, or maybe do some breaks in between, but you keep coming back to it. You have this feeling that you are never fully done with that painting. What do you think will happen? Will you eventually have this miraculous moment where you say, yes, now it's perfect, everything is exactly the way I want? Or will you completely go into psychosis from this? I was this close. What I did, especially in combination with the weed, is not healthy at all. So, again, Sonic ERaZor 9, it won't come. And before you make the obvious joke, no, there will also not be an ERaZor 10 or 11 or 8.1. There will not be another version of ERaZor, period. Alright? Where will we go from here? I don't know yet, because I still have a lot of self-healing to do. I still have a lot of therapy to go through. I need to make sure to get my social life back on track, hopefully start getting a job again. And then, eventually, maybe, once I get everything sort of stabilized, I will start doing some Sonic hacks again. That's not to say, maybe I will do something small in the meantime. I will never say never again, because I realize that is stupid. Except for Sonic ERaZor, that is a definitive never. Except for maybe in 10 years. See, I'm going in circles. See, my brain is kind of like leaving a back door, and I need to keep that back door shut because I know it will kill me if it happens. Oh, God. Yeah, getting worked up. You can see how emotional I am about this game, and maybe that will help a little bit about understanding why I want to make the cut now. So, I will probably leave you with that, because I've been talking for roughly half an hour now. And I think that's pretty much all I need to tell you at the moment. I had the rehab thing. I finally got my cannabis addiction under control. I've been clean for a month, 2 months now almost. I don't drink alcohol anymore as well, which is a nice bonus fact. And yeah, I will probably try to do more face cam videos, because I feel like this is kind of an intimate situation, even though my webcam probably looks like shit. What can you do, right? So if you got any questions or whatever, just leave them in the comments. I will try to answer them all, or at least read them all. And we'll see where it goes from here, right? A new chapter of my life awaits. A chapter without Sonic ERaZor. I will maybe do some videos about talking about game designs or other background trivia. I still have the FAQ video to do from the ERaZor-thon video 8. So keep an eye out for that. But apart from talking about ERaZor, don't expect any more updates to ERaZor. And that is all I have to say for this. So, thank you for watching. I've been Selbi, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.